So our next presenter is Moxie, who is an artist and one of our favorite crafters at Maker Faire, and she does amazing work with felt work. On her website, she says she likes to do the impossible make felt do the impossible, and which I always think is a good goal for an artist to push those envelopes. So without further ado, Moxie.
I feel a little bit like I'm going on after the Who and they like smashed all their instruments and we're completely brilliant and I'm like, hi. Anyway, okay, so my name is Moxie and I am an artist and a fiber pusher and a human being, and I'm really nervous. I have never done a presentation like this before, so hold me. I am going to show you a little bit about how this medium works and then what I've done with it. We got to talk about felt first. It is, in fact, the oldest textile known to humankind. All animal hair felts to one degree or another, depending on factors like thickness or smoothness or coarseness, including human hair. And sorry, Whoopi. Dreadlocks are essentially wet felted hair. And the reason it works is that all hair has scales up and down each fiber, and those scales lock together when you use soap and water and agitation. These are a bunch of different kinds of wool fibers up close and personal. I don't know why the different scales look different for each hair, but we could, Google it sometime together and we could find out. So like I said, when you use hot water, soap, and agitation, that's the first felt that was made. That's wet felting. That opens the scales and shuts them, and opens and shuts them and locks them together, making a matted fabric. And that's what felt is, a matted fabric. Again, you can't agitate the wool with harsh language or manipulation. It actually has to be physically agitating the wool, like these women in Central Asia. Then the Industrial Revolution comes along and creates the drinking bird, as well as the felting machine, both wet and dry. I am a dry felter, and they also call that needle felting. This is my beloved felting needle. It's really about this long or so. It is sharper than the sharpest sharp thing that you normally play with, unless you are a surgeon or a killer. And the bottom, the thinnest end, has these little notches. You can kind of see it there, but here's a close-up. There are a lot of different variants of needles, but essentially the notches on the needles do the work of the soap, water, and agitation. So when you poke it through the wool, it opens and shuts, locking them together. Basically like Velcro, but forever. That's a lie. That is actually the logo of a company that put out a video of a needle felting machine. So I edited it very tightly, so that's some wool getting processed. It's combed into what they call a bat. It blends the fibers, smooths them out. Here comes pain. So it's hundreds of those needles, and they're basically making the felt that you can buy at the craft store. They also make felt for a lot of different commercial uses. And then eventually there it comes out of extreme acupuncture. Oh no, we've been there, people. There you go. So eventually someone in the factory takes a needle home to his wool using wife. I don't know who they were, but I'm really happy it happened because they started sculpting by hand using the same needles that come out of that machine, but on your, on your surface, just one needle at a time and doing sculptures. This is what most of the work looked like for a good long time. And then the last, 7 or 8 years or so, a lot of people have been taking this medium to new levels, and I am one of those people. That's jumping ahead just a little bit, and I wanted to tell you about how tinkering got me where I am, because tinkering is really important when you don't know where you're going, but you just have to play a little bit. So I didn't even know those birds and faceless dolls existed when I started. I learned how to make flat fabric with the same technique. So you use a multi-needle tool and you punch the fibers to create flat fabric. And then I use a single needle to do all of the detail work. So this is me just playing around. When I learned how to do it, I didn't know that 3D felting existed. And I just got bored one day. And I took a single needle and a little bit of roving on my board and I made a ball. And I pretty much stopped doing literally everything else, including cleaning my house and going to the bathroom. Sorry, honey. So again, still playing. I started making a little bit of accessory action just to see what kind of textures and how I could allow whatever lives inside of me to come out in fiber. And then this is when I started innovating more. I wish they would come alive. I feel like they'd always be running. But this is still where I go when I am cleansing my palette creatively, or I get stuck or I'm bored. I make a finger puppet because you always need a new friend. And then I started doing replica stuff, and my documentation gets better, I promise. I don't know. It's just what I do. And then I started getting crazy. These are solid, rock solid to the touch. The pickaxe is full size. The dog is actually about 2 feet tall, and it weighs 3 pounds of rock solid wool. I don't put anything inside there because I'm an insane fundamentalist, and I teach other people how to cheat, and I just am driven to make wool do impossible things. After that, I started doing some small series. And just experimenting with the whole idea of using this traditional medium for some conceptual work. These are some pins I made for a gallery in Seattle. This is me wondering what would happen if garbage and life joined together against our will. This one is actually, it's a real pill, so the whole crab is about 2 inches across. That's how I displayed them. And this is the first of one of the larger series I did. I don't have all of them here for you to see, but I did a good selection. Yeah, I don't know. It's just inside me. I can't. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. So then I did a series of replicas, sort of memories, that was in a gallery in New York recently. It was 3 other needle felters and me. And some of these are larger than scale. That lock is about this big or so, and they're all permanently mounted in cigar boxes. I really like the Fisher-Price people. That's a giant match. Those are actual size. 1 minute, good. Can anybody tell me what that is? It stumps some people. Cassette, yeah, you got it. Not a can opener. I like to teach the people. Brooklyn Morris is right over there with Make and Craft. We did the needle felting playground at Maker Faire. That is, you can watch my hair change with the seasons. These are different Maker Fairs that we've been at, just bringing the felting to the people. And I just want to keep poking wool for a really long time, but I still tinker. That's a cross-stitch zoetrope. And then I have no respect, so I cross-stitched on some monies. And I made that melon for Thanksgiving. And those are some LED necklaces that are felted, and then I used conductive thread and a battery in the back to light them up. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm about to start working on my first installation. It's going to be gigantic, so keep your fingers crossed. And this is a picture of me in my studio, not at all working. And can I go?